This DIY is a Level 3 DIY for Standard 6.5W2, Unit 2. Make sure that you put your name up at the top before you do anything else. Before we take a look at this, I want you to get out your notebook piece of paper. And at the top of your notebook piece of paper, I want you to write your name. Underneath it, go ahead and write Exercise 1, Number 1, cat. On your Composing Sentences DIY, it's going to ask you to write simple sentences using the subject or predicate that is given to you. We are given a subject right here, cat. So we need to compose a sentence using cat as our subject. For example, the cat slept all day. It's a simple sentence because I used the verb slept, the subject cat is used, and we have a simple predicate slept. Go ahead and write your own sentence for cat. Next, write number 2, and then write ran around the block. We're given a predicate here, ran around the block. We need to add a subject to it to make it a simple sentence. So, for example, I could say Phil ran around the block. I have ran my verb, I added Phil my subject, and ran again as my predicate. There's our simple sentence. Go ahead and write your own simple sentence for ran around the block. Now look at exercise 2 by writing exercise 2. Exercise 2 on your DIY is going to say, write compound sentences using the subjects and predicates given. Right here we're given cat, Patrick, fell off, and scraped. So we need to combine all of these things to make a compound sentence. The first thing that you can do is take one subject and one predicate and make a simple sentence. The cat fell off the table. There's a simple sentence. Now we need to make a sentence for Patrick scraped as well and combine it to our first simple sentence. So since two different things are happening, let's go ahead and put comma and to make it a compound sentence and say the cat fell off the table and Patrick scraped his knee. Now we have a compound sentence because we have one simple sentence, two simple sentences combined by comma and. Go ahead and create your own for cat, Patrick fell off, and scraped. Now write exercise 3. Exercise 3 on your DIY is going to say write complex sentences using the subjects, predicates, and subordinate clauses given. We have ate the pizza before the trip and he. So let's start by making a main clause. It says, or we could use he ate the pizza, which would be a main clause because that by itself is a complete thought. Now let's add in before the trip. By putting it in this order, we've made a complex sentence because we've got a subordinate clause helped with a main clause to make one big complex sentence. Go ahead and create your own sentence using those. Now look down at the end of your paper and write exercise 4. Exercise 4 on your DIY is going to ask you to write your own simple, compound, and complex sentences. When you're doing this, remember, a simple sentence has one subject and one predicate. A compound sentence is two simple sentences combined by comma and, comma or, comma but, or a semicolon. And 3 complex sentences has a main clause, which is a complete thought, and a subordinate clause that cannot stand alone as its own sentence without having a main clause to help it make sense. Now, go ahead and get out your DIY. Make sure that you read the directions on exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, and exercise 4 before completing the questions in that section. You also have examples that will help guide you. When you're finished with this DIY, make sure your name is up at the top before turning it into the basket.